Okay, hey y'all, real quick. I want to talk about understanding and agreement because I see relationships, I have had friendships, people in families, like they struggle with this concept, okay? This concept is very hard for people to understand because of certain sayings of, oh, we need all to be on one accord. So that means you have to not only understand what I'm saying to you, you have to agree with what I'm saying to you. But if you don't agree with what I'm saying to you, now you are becoming my enemy, right? That turns to just something totally fucking different, okay? So when it comes to understanding, it says understanding is about comprehending and grasping someone else's perspective, okay? That's where empathy comes in. That's why empaths can give off a great sense of empathy because we understand, we can feel you. We don't just necessarily look at you through the lens of ourselves. We look at you through the lens of yourself and how you feel and the things that you have going on in your life, okay? There's no deeper understanding. No one has a deeper understanding than an empath, okay? So, when it comes to understanding, we can see something, notice you going through something, see the reason why you're going through this, see the reason why you're going through that, yet and still, we can be in a disagreement with that, okay? So it says agreement implies a mutual acceptance of viewpoints and ideas. It is when two or more parties share the same perspective or come to a common decision, okay? Now, when you share the same perspective, that is meaning when you tell me something and I understand it, and I tell you, you know what? I agree with you. But in the same instance, if you tell me something and I understand you, but on the other spectrum, I don't agree with what you're doing, that does not mean I don't understand you. I have a different perspective than you. Can I understand the reason why you do the things that you do? Yes. But will I agree with the things that you do if it's out of my perspective? No, the fuck I won't, okay? Now, things get a little bit tricky here because those who don't agree with what they understand, people tend them to be the enemy, right? Okay. So now, the issue with people having a problem with people disagreeing with them, that's where control comes into play, okay? You might feel like control. I don't want to control nobody. I'm not controlling. I'm not strong arming somebody. But once it gets to a point where you figure they don't understand me, they're disagreeing with me, I have to control the situation. I have to then take their mind and try to put it to what I agree with, right? When you guys can come just to a common ground to agree to disagree on certain things, okay? So when you want to take control of things, determine the behavior or supervise the running of, okay? So now you want to take control of this person's perspective. You want to take control of this person's agreement. Okay, now you become controlling. Then when that and how you become controlling is, you start behaving in a coercive behavior. Okay, you start throwing out insults, you start throwing out cuss words, you start throwing out threats, you start humiliation, talking down on them, making sure that, they have to know that, since they're not agreeing with what you're saying, you have to put them in their place. You got to intimidate them. Now you are showing coercive behavior, okay? And in that behavior, if that behavior still does not make the person be in agreement with what you want them to be in agreement with, guess what happens then? Now you have became an abuser. You are an abuser. Okay? Abuse is physical, sexual, emotional, economic, psychological actions or threats of action that influence another person. This includes any behaviors that frighten, intimidate, terrorize, manipulate, hurt, humiliate, blame, injure, or wound someone. Okay? Now, since we're in the physical realm, we tend to believe that since I didn't put my hands on you, I ain't do nothing to you. Since I ain't kidnap you, I can't control you. But if you're in a state of mind, in a state of being, where people disagree with you, and you have a problem with their disagreement, you will be becoming a controlling abuser. It's not rocket science, okay? That's why people say either you agree or you come to a common ground. That common ground is, you know what? I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. The other person say, well, thank you for understanding, but we could come to an agreement. You understand me, but you don't feel the way I feel. I feel the way I feel. Only thing that matters is we respect each other on a certain level. We respect each other's opinions. We respect each other's perspectives. And we can carry on. Okay? Not a lot of people. Because as soon as someone is disagreeing with you, you want to control the whole situation, and then you become a bully. And it's like, well, I'm not a bully. Well, what are you doing? Are you giving out threats? Are you insulting people? Are you humiliating people? Like, you have to understand, it's not just on the physical level of things that people do to other people. And this happens in, like I said, this can be in your family, in your relationships, romantic, in your friendships. I have literally had people stop talking to me because I was just in a disagreement with them. Disagreeing, not fighting, not name calling, not disrespecting, not misusing, just understanding where they are in life, but understanding that I don't agree with their perspective. And I will never get mad at someone not agreeing with my perspective. Only thing I ask from people, and for people who are listening, is to respect one another. Respect. Do you know there are so many things that I have done in my life that people didn't agree with? You don't agree with it. That's fine. You don't have to be in agreement with me. All I need you to do is respect me. All I need you to do is let me be in my perspective, and I will allow you to be in your perspective. Long as we're not hurting each other, long as we're not being abusive, long as we're not being controlling, we all to the motherfucking good. But y'all have a problem with this. Y'all lose relationships over this. Y'all lose great marriages over this. Y'all lose parenting moments over this. Y'all lose best friends over this shit. Y'all lose the communication between family members over this shit. And it's really minuscule. It doesn't have to be this serious. You could come to a common ground and say, look, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't agree with it. So we're going to come to an understanding that we are going to be on our own perspective, and we're going to love and going to respect each other regardless. And that's it. Y'all make shit so difficult. It does not have to be that difficult. It really don't. I don't know. I don't know. And I made this video because I was reading a letter. Somebody told me, I wish you understood me. I do understand you, but you want me to be in agreements with you. So since I'm not agreeing with you, you figure like what you saying really ain't shit. And that's not the case, because even if I agree with it or not, you are a human being. You have your own experience. You can do as you please.